When rioters attacked the U.S. Capitol in a failed attempt to stop Congress from certifying the presidential election of Joe Biden, Washington's Mayor Muriel Bowser lacked the authority to call in the National Guard to help police. The episode has given new momentum to the District of Columbia's long-running effort to become a state.
I'm upset that 706,000 residents of the District of Columbia did not have a single vote in that Congress yesterday, despite the fact that our people were putting their lives on the line to protect our democracy.
The district lacks local autonomy. Its budget and local laws, unlike those of states, are subject to approval by Congress. Its residents pay federal taxes but cannot send someone to Congress to cast votes on their behalf. Eleanor Holmes Norton has championed statehood for 3 decades as the district's non-voting delegate to the House of Representatives.
The United States is the only country that denies the residents of its capital city the same rights that everybody else has.
Norton introduced legislation, passed by the House last year, that would shrink the federal district to 2 square miles, including the Capitol, White House, and other major government buildings and monuments. The district's remaining 66 square miles would become the new state. The legislation was reintroduced in January with even more backers.
What is important is that we have the support of the new president of the United States, Joe Biden, as well as the support of the leaders of the Senate and of the House. That's a trifecta that's hard to beat.
But Republicans in Congress oppose statehood. Because the district's voters overwhelmingly support Democrats, that would mean 2 more Democrats in a Senate that is now evenly divided between the 2 major parties. Republican Congressman Dusty Johnson says Washingtonians do deserve representation, just not in a separate new state. His proposed legislation would make most of the district part of the neighboring state of Maryland, without adding seats in the House or Senate.
And if what D.C. residents really want is suffrage, if what they want is a voice in the United States Senate, my plan gives them that. I would say in the last 200 years, every single state that has been made a state has had either 6 million residents or has been 10,000 square miles. Washington, D.C. fails both of those tests.
But joining another state is just not acceptable to Washington pharmacist Oye Owowola.
We don't want to be residents of Maryland. We want to be D.C. residents. We also want to have our own voice. We want to be the 51st state, not to be absorbed in another one.
D.C. voters elected Owowola last fall as a backup delegate in the House of Representatives. He was born in the U.S. to parents from Nigeria, where residents of the federal capital region do have legislative representatives with voting rights. Attorney Paul Strauss is one of the district's 2 elected shadow senators, again without voting rights. His goal is
to educate both Americans and the world about the importance of D.C. statehood and making sure that the United States lives up to the ideals that it preaches around the world.
A House panel will consider Norton's bill this month. While it may pass in the democratically controlled House, it is unlikely to pass in the Senate, where Democrats have only a slim margin of control. Carol Gunsberg, VOA News, Washington.